to Shenzhen Metro, but more importantly, welcome to the future.
China has once again amazed the world, this time by building a train station so massive it's being compared to an entire city, complete with hotels, shopping centres, parks, and high-speed trains connecting every major region. This megastructure is redefining the future of transportation. The scale and technology behind it have stunned even the most advanced nations. How did China make this possible, and what does it mean for the rest of the world? Let's uncover the story behind it. A city within a station. The Chongqing East Railway Station is not just a place where trains arrive and leave. It is a world of its own. Spanning more than 1.2 million square meters, its size equals about 170 football fields. Standing inside it feels like standing in a city built under one roof. Every part of it has been designed to move people with ease, beauty, and comfort. The architects wanted to make sure that passengers could flow through the space as smoothly as water. Every hallway, stair, and platform connects naturally, allowing people to move without confusion or crowding. The design is barrier-free, meaning anyone, from a traveler with luggage to an elderly visitor, can navigate it effortlessly. Wide walkways, open halls, and thoughtful layouts make movement feel light and simple. Natural light fills the interior through vast skylights above. The sunlight shifts gently across the floor as the day passes, giving the station a warm and lively feel. Fresh air flows freely through hidden vents that keep the environment cool and pleasant, even with thousands of travelers passing every hour. The entire building feels alive, as if it breathes with the rhythm of the people moving through it. But what makes this structure truly special is how it blends modern technology with the spirit of nature. The towering pillars that hold the roof were inspired by the hanger trees native to Chongqing. They rise from the floor like slim trunks, branching outward near the top to support the massive roof above. These pillars are both strong and graceful, mirroring the trees that have long stood as symbols of protection and endurance in the region. Between these branches, sunlight streams down through clear openings, lighting up the hall naturally. The roof itself is a wonder. It stretches across 120,000 square meters and weighs more than 16,000 tons. Built in parts, each section was lifted and fitted using robotic cranes, joining together like pieces of a ship's hull. From above, the roof glimmers with skylights shaped like rippling water. The design was inspired by the waves of the Yangtze River, capturing the way sunlight dances on moving water. As the sun shifts, the roof sparkles and glows, turning engineering into art. The station's beauty goes beyond looks. It has been designed for comfort and function, housing shops, restaurants, and waiting areas large enough for thousands of people. It is a modern masterpiece that serves as both a gateway and a gathering place, where nature, technology, and humanity meet in harmony. Yet, what makes the Chongqing East Railway Station even more fascinating is that it is not the end of the story. The station is only the heart of something greater, an entire new city rising around it, full of energy, business, and life. And that is where the real transformation of Chongqing begins, in the city that was born from the station itself. But how was the Chinese able to build such a massive structure in such a short period of time? Building the impossible. When China decided to build the Chongqing East Railway Station, the first challenge was not design or funding. It was the land itself. Chongqing's landscape is made up of endless hills and steep valleys, with almost no flat surface. But the engineers did not back down. They knew that to build the world's largest station, they would have to first create the ground to build it on. And so they began an unbelievable task, carving through mountains to make space for the foundation. Piece by piece, they moved nearly 10 million cubic meters of earth, flattening what nature had raised over millions of years. Slowly, a level surface began to appear. where once there were only rugged slopes. Then came the machines. A new kind of workforce arrived, one made of steel, sensors, and artificial intelligence. Robots guided by AI took charge of tasks that humans could only dream of doing so fast or so perfectly. Laser-controlled bulldozers leveled the ground with incredible accuracy. They could smooth a surface down to the tiniest millimeter, something no human hand could match. As the foundation was laid, AI-powered concrete layers worked tirelessly, ensuring even thickness and perfect texture. Welding machines climbed high structures, joining metal pieces 3 times faster than traditional crews. Every corner of the site buzzed with intelligent machines, all moving to the rhythm of progress. But it wasn't just about power. Artificial intelligence coordinated everything behind the scenes, planning schedules, managing materials, and keeping workers safe. Safety drones patrolled the site, spotting anyone without proper gear or detecting misplaced equipment. With AI watching closely, accidents fell by almost 90%. The entire process became smoother, faster, and safer than ever before. China also used modular construction, a method that allowed pieces of the station to be built elsewhere and then transported to the site. Columns, roof sections, and structural parts arrived like puzzle pieces, ready to be assembled. This clever method saved years of time. It meant that while one team worked on site, another built the next part somewhere else, keeping everything moving without delay. In just 38 months, a little over 3 years, a structure that should have taken a decade to complete stood tall and proud. The speed shocked the world. What once seemed impossible had been achieved through innovation, teamwork, and determination. And as the dust settled, the frame of something extraordinary began to rise from the ground. A station unlike any other, ready to become a masterpiece of both engineering and imagination. But what stood upon that ground was more than concrete and steel. It was a living, breathing city within itself. The city that shouldn't exist. Chongqing is a city like no other. It stands tall among the clouds, balanced on the sharp ridges of mountains and the bends of powerful rivers. From above, it looks more like a miracle than a city. A place carved from rock, wrapped in mist and filled with life. The land beneath Chongqing twists and folds in every direction, leaving almost no flat surface to build on. Yet somehow, against every rule of nature and logic, people made it work. The city's geography is both breathtaking and bewildering. Roads cling to cliffs like ribbons, bridges soar from one mountain to another, and tunnels dive deep underground. Some districts sit high on steep slopes, while others lie hidden in valleys below. Buildings rise from every level of land, stacked upon one another as though reaching for the sky itself. In many places, the ground floor of one home might line up with the 20th floor of another building nearby. It is a place where directions can be dizzying. A single street can appear, disappear, and reappear again on a completely different level. This strange topography has shaped Chongqing's personality. Its people are strong, adaptable, and endlessly creative. They learn to live between the mountains and rivers, turning challenges into traditions. The city pulses with energy and determination. But even the most spirited places have limits, and Chongqing's landscape began to reveal its cost. The same terrain that made the city beautiful also made it difficult to move, trade, and grow. Roads twisted endlessly through the hills, and bridges could never be built fast enough to connect all corners. It was a city that demanded effort at every step. A journey of only a few kilometers could take hours. Over time, this slowed everything down. Factories struggled to transport their goods efficiently. Students and workers spent long hours commuting. Tourists were enchanted by the city's charm, but often daunted by its complexity. Despite its importance in China's inland economy, Chongqing began to lag behind coastal cities, where high-speed trains, flat highways, and ports made life easier. The The city's potential was immense, but its progress was chained by geography. As years passed, pressure grew. Businesses started looking elsewhere, and industries that once thrived found themselves stuck in delays. A city so vital to the nation's trade was beginning to choke on its beauty. It wasn't lack of talent or ambition holding Chongqing back. It was the land itself. By the time the problem became impossible to ignore, the city's future hung in uncertainty. Could a place built on mountains ever catch up with the modern world's pace? Would its rivers and cliffs forever divide its people and slow its growth? Something had to change. The mountains had tested human endurance long enough, but far away, a new idea was forming, one that would shake the earth beneath Chongqing's feet. A nation that refuses to wait. When China's leaders looked at Chongqing's struggles, they did not see a small local issue. They saw a problem that affected the entire nation. The city was one of the main gateways between the eastern coast and the deep western regions of the country. Its slow transport systems were not just delaying its progress, they were slowing China's growth. Goods from factories took too long to reach ports. Students in the mountains missed opportunities in the cities. Businesses waited days for deliveries that should have taken hours. China knew it could not afford to let such a key region remain stuck in time. The world was moving fast, and the country's ambitions were even faster. Where others might have hesitated, China decided to act. While some nations debate plans for years, China believes in moving forward. Its motto is simple: when something needs to be done, build it, and build it now. The government began mapping a solution that would transform not only Chongqing, but the entire transportation network of inland China. The idea was daring: a high-speed rail system that would glide across the mountains and link the city directly with the rest of the country. But the plan did not stop there. At the heart of this vision would rise a structure so vast, so advanced, that it would rewrite what the world thought possible. Chongqing East Railway Station, the largest railway station on Earth. This project would not just be another station. It would be a masterpiece of design, technology, and efficiency, a symbol of how far human determination could go. It would bring together the speed of modern engineering and the grace of Chinese architectural imagination. The plan was bold, but to China, boldness was the only way forward. As news spread, experts around the world doubted it could be done. The terrain of Chongqing was infamous for being unforgiving. Mountains, rivers, and uneven land stretched for miles. To build something of such massive scale, there seemed impossible. Many predicted delays, rising costs, and endless setbacks. But China was not a country known for waiting. While others watched with disbelief, workers and engineers began to arrive. Machinery rolled in, and the first foundations were laid. The city that once felt isolated was about to become the center of something far greater. The plan was clear: transform Chongqing from a trapped mountain city into one of the most connected hubs in the world. It was not just about speed or size, it was about vision. China was determined to show that no challenge, no matter how great, could stand in the way of progress. The mountains had defined Chongqing for centuries. Now they would witness a new chapter, one written in steel, motion, and ambition. And so began the impossible, a construction unlike any the world had ever seen. But how did this new development transform the city? Keep on watching to find out more. The heart of a new city. When the Chongqing East Railway Station opened its doors, it did not just welcome passengers. It gave birth to an entirely new city. Around this colossal station rose the East Station Hub, a district stretching 3.5 kilometers wide, designed to bring together life, work, and travel in perfect harmony. What was once an empty space, surrounded by mountains, quickly transformed into a living, breathing ecosystem of energy, movement, and opportunity. The East Station Hub is unlike anything Chongqing had seen before. Towering hotels shimmer beside wide plazas. Cafes and restaurants spill out into open walkways, their lights glowing warmly in the evening mist. Business centers hum with activity, while retail streets invite travelers to pause and explore before catching their next train. Everything within this district feels connected. Every road, bridge, and walkway is part of one flowing design. Here, the moment you step off a high-speed train, you are already inside the rhythm of the city. This zero-transfer lifestyle was a dream turned into reality. Passengers no longer lose time searching for taxis or buses. The station blends seamlessly into urban life, making every journey effortless. A traveler can leave Beijing in the morning, arrive in Chongqing before lunch, and walk directly from the platform into a conference hall, a restaurant, or even a hotel lobby. The world outside the train feels like an extension of the journey, smooth, quick, and perfectly timed. The impact of the station's connections has been extraordinary. High-speed lines now link Chongqing to major Chinese cities such as Beijing, Shanghai, Wuhan, Xi'an, and Chengdu. What once took 6 or 7 hours can now be done in just 2 or 3. For the first time in its history, Chongqing stands on equal ground with the great economic centers of China. Businesses no longer hesitate to invest, knowing that travel times are short and logistics are simple. The change rippled through every corner of society. Students now travel easily between cities for education and training. Local markets thrive as traders move goods faster and farther. Tourism has exploded, with millions of visitors eager to experience Chongqing's dramatic skyline and misty river valleys. Families take weekend trips that once seemed impossible, and workers find new job opportunities in the growing city hub. The numbers tell the story clearly. Tourism has grown by more than half since the opening of the East Station. Businesses around the hub report record profits, and real estate values continue to climb. The station has created thousands of jobs and drawn countless new residents who bring fresh ideas and skills. Chongqing is no longer defined by its steep roads or slow transport. It has become a symbol of progress and connection. Chongqing is no longer struggling to keep up. It is now setting the pace for progress. Once slowed by its rugged mountains, the city has transformed into a symbol of what vision and determination can achieve. What started as an effort to solve a transport problem has turned into one of China's greatest success stories. With its breathtaking growth and seamless connectivity, Chongqing shows the world that no challenge is too great when innovation meets action. It stands as a living reminder that real progress begins the moment a city refuses to stand still. But while the trains rush forward and the skyline gleams brighter than ever, a deeper story is emerging, one that reaches far beyond steel and glass. The promise of a new era, Chongqing East Railway Station, is no longer just a place where trains arrive and depart. It has become a global symbol of what determination, innovation, and imagination can achieve when they work together. It stands as a reminder that human progress is not only about machines or buildings, it is about the will to keep moving forward even when the mountains seem too high to climb. The station represents far more than engineering. It embodies the spirit of a nation that believes in speed, precision, and vision. While many countries are trapped in endless discussions and delays, China has shown what happens when bold ideas are met with decisive action. Where others see obstacles, China sees blueprints. Where others wait for the perfect moment, China creates it. But Chongqing East is not only about speed, it also reflects a deep respect for the planet. Designed with the future in mind, it meets the 3-star green standard, one of the highest in sustainable building. Its vast roof absorbs sunlight through solar panels, generating clean energy for daily operations. Rainwater is collected and recycled through advanced systems, and natural ventilation reduces the need for excessive air conditioning. Every part of the station was built to protect the very environment that surrounds it. Of course, such rapid progress often draws criticism. Some questioned whether China was building too quickly, too boldly, yet the results speak louder than doubt. For every yuan invested, the project has returned 2.5 times its value to the economy. More than 60,000 jobs have been created, and countless businesses have flourished around the new district. What once seemed impossible is now a model for success that other nations are eager to study. Countries like Indonesia, Thailand, and several African nations have already begun following China's station-centered city model. They have seen how a single hub can transform entire regions, creating not just faster transport, but stronger economies and cleaner cities. Chongqing East has become a living classroom for the world, proving that great design and great ambition can exist together. Yet beyond the numbers and technology lies something even greater: a message. Chongqing East is not simply a station made of concrete and glass. It is a statement about what the future can look like when courage meets creativity. It shows that progress is not for those who wait, but for those who build. The trains that speed through its platforms carry more than passengers. They carry hope, ambition, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. And as they rush toward the horizon, one truth becomes clear. The future does not belong to those who hesitate. It belongs to those who dare to move first, to dream bigger, and to build beyond limits. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.